Taurus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for the week of the 7th through the 13th of November 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, you'll want to check out the link down below because the signs are different, which means your sign might be different, and you'll want to be watching this for the right sign. All right, so Taurus, let's go ahead and have a look. We got a lot of things shifting this week, one of which is your ruler Venus, who is going to be shifting into Sagittarius right on Monday. So there's this new sort of shift of value, shift of focus, and I think this is about what really matters in life. You know, this is the 8th house. It's about everything real, raw, meaningful. It's about understanding more about yourself on that deeper level, making it a great time for psychology, a great time for research, again, about yourself, you could say, you know, transformation, spirituality, psychology, but just in general, just with life, you know, just connecting to life on that deeper level, maybe with relationships as well. You know, this is the second from the 7th, you know, the 8th. And so this is about intimacy, openness, really getting vulnerable, I think, in general with relationships and life. And so it's a great time for all of this. I think you can enjoy it. I think there's a lot to learn. It could be maybe with your work, your routine, because Venus does rule your 6th house. And all in all, through this, you're going to be transforming as Venus makes her way through that 8th. Now, Mars is also shifting sign at the beginning of the week. He's going into your 9th house. So this is about an emphasis here on your adventurous side. I think there's a lot of motivation to be had here, whether you're going for more walks, maybe doing some hiking, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be external, you know, it doesn't have to be something that quite literally expands your horizons. It could be philosophical. It could be a lot of you are learning about philosophy or astrology or that, you know, that type of spirituality, you know, more of the wisdom and the ideas behind it. And so a great time to be reading books, gaining wisdom, maybe sharing your wisdom. And a lot of this can be very motivating, very energizing. And a lot of this is coming through your relationships in the sense that there's this open-mindedness now, I think, about relationships for you, which is Mars, who rules your 7th, going into the 9th. Maybe you could be enjoying a bit of that adventurousness with those relationships as well. And discussing philosophy and ideas and outlooks and, you know, those type of theoretical things. Now, Mars does also rule your 12th. So again, this could be type of spiritual or psychological type of wisdom, psychological type of understanding about yourself and about life in general. All right, so those are the two shifts. You know, this week is a week of culmination. We're going to have a full moon on Monday of next week. And so as the week unfolds, there is this increasing energy, this sort of momentum and cultivation of things. And a lot of it has to do with what started about a week or two ago, depending on when you're watching this, which was in regards to your passion. You know, the new moon was in your 5th house, and Jupiter's here. So there's a lot of positive energy for you to be really doing things because you're passionate about it, because you enjoy it, because it sparks your heart, you know, it gives you that excitement there. And so there should be plenty of things there. Maybe it's interests, hobbies, creative pursuits, your playful side, entertainment. But it's a high point now this week, especially by week's end, where you can be really cultivating those things you're passionate about, maybe just expressing yourself more. And a lot of this is about your work as well, which is where the sun is, who's in your 6th house. I think a lot of you can be gaining energy through self-improvement right now. Through any type of diet, regimens, routine, exercise even can be seen from the 6th. All in all, focusing on what you have control over in your life, which is essentially yourself, and improving yourself, improving your life, these kinds of things. And if it is work related, improving your work, you know, really getting good at your craft or whatever it is you do on that daily level. It's a great source of energy. And again, there can be some culminations with that. Now, the full moon is going to be right in between your 12th and your sign. It's actually going to be technically in your sign. So this is, in a bigger picture sense, a culminating time of the year. 6 months ago, you had a new moon in your sign, which was a time of planting new seeds. A lot of you started some new goals. Maybe you became more independent at that time. And so now it's a status check, and particularly this weekend. See how you can do this status check about how things are going with your goals, how things are going with your life, the things that motivate you, and how to continue to move that energy forward. And I think a lot of this has to do too with where you can have a bit of peace and tranquility. You know, it's going to be very close to your 12th, in fact. So a little bit of both moving things forward, but at the same time asking yourself where you can have a bit of peace, have a bit of tranquility, enjoy things a little bit more in the now moment in your life. And all in all, a good time to cultivate and put energy into that stuff. All right. So that's going to be the lunar cycle. Now, I do want to mention, though, at the beginning of this week, the sun will be sextiling up to Pluto, which does mean there could be some, again, positive changes happening with the work, the routine that we talked about. This week, Neptune is actually going to be very close to the south node. They're going to go exact next week on the 17th. And so what this means is, again, just like the full moon, as the week unfolds, there are some past patterns being released, right? This is what the South Node's all about. Past patterns, unhealthy things, imbalances, old yearnings that we've wanted in the past that have been mainly because we've been attached to them. And so this a lot has to do with your career. It has a lot to do with your productive life. And a lot of these unhealthy patterns that maybe you have been noticing lately involving your career or your productive life are being released this week and next. And so I think it's a great week to ask yourself, are there any unhealthy patterns relating to your career, relating to your productive life, relating to future stuff that you want to build? Maybe there's some ideals about it. Maybe there's some dreams about it, some fantasies that may be taken to an extreme, or maybe there's a bit of lethargy with it. You know, Neptune on an under extreme level can be very passive, very receptive, but also just not doing anything with it. So it's this kind of thing. And all in all, I think just asking yourself where you can bring some balance to your career so you can really be focused on your roots. You know, your North Node's in the 4th house, which means really reflecting on your past right now, getting to know more about your past, about who you are, where you come from. A lot of you might be establishing your location, your literal roots, like your foundations, your home. Connecting more with family. This is the emotional side to life that I think is really good for you to be putting some attention into, and really understanding that, of course, without good roots, without good foundations, we can't do productive stuff. And vice versa, you know, without our productive life being balanced and healthy, we can't have good roots. And so it's that sort of dichotomy, that sort of paradox with the nodes that is about bringing balance. And I think all in all, just seeing how you can incorporate both the roots and to bring some balance here in the career life. All right, but like I said, that'll be going exact next week on the 17th. So this weekend, Mercury is actually going to be shifting into your 7th house. So going into next week, this could be putting an emphasis on relationships. You know, it's been so important for you this year to be taking relationships seriously, to be putting in some hard work there, whatever that means for you personally, because Saturn has been in your 7th. So this is about patience. This is about long-term stuff being built with relationships, your perspective on relationships, that grounded approach. But Mercury here, maybe sharing some ideas. Maybe there's some communication taking place. Maybe it's interesting. Maybe it's really getting you mentally stimulated. And as it always is, it's important for you to have a bit of depth and openness and intimacy in those relationships, because of course your 7th house is Scorpio and Ophiuchus. All right, so that's the week's end. Also over the weekend, the sun will be trining Chiron, so there's a bit of rejuvenation this week. Maybe it does have to do with your routine, your work. And all in all, yeah, I think maybe some of these ideals that you could be healing some wounds with. You know, these aspirations, future things. Okay, there's a lot of healing taking place there, and could be very freeing, of course, with Uranus in the 11th as well. But all in all, yeah, feeling rejuvenated over the weekend, both with your work and those aspirations there, and maybe again with the home life. It's quite possible because the sun does rule your 4th. All right, so Taurus, to sum all this up, I would say the simplest way of looking at this week is essentially that your ruler is going into the 8th, putting an emphasis on what really matters to you, connecting to yourself on a deeper level, understanding more about yourself on a deeper level, understanding more about life on a deeper level, and connecting to it in a more intimate way, in an open way, and in a vulnerable way. And all of this can certainly benefit you, benefit your work, your routine, your self-improvement. Again, there's a lot of positive energy for that. Benefit your relationships. And this is all part of this whole culmination, which will be mostly on Monday of next week. This status check about how things are going in your life, where you can continue to cultivate your goals, your ambitions, that kind of thing. And at the same time, have a bit of peace, tranquility, and enjoying that present moment. All right, Taurus, so have a fantastic week. Thank you for all of your support. If you do have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you all next week.